Alright, let's continue our investigation. March 22, 9:14 p.m. Gatewater Hotel, Corridor's hotel room. Man, we are late at night and still investigating. It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. That's what you assume. You're right. So the real person who killed Mr. Corridor was that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client? You mean who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Wait, are they? Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be. Matt Engarde himself? We are asking Pearl to solve the crime for us. If Mr. Engarde really did hire the assassin, then he is not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Engarde, right? I mean, when we first talked with him... Mr. Engarde, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Corridor? I mean, he didn't kill him, he just hired someone to kill him. Alright, just so we're clear, dude, I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Corridor. You know, he didn't kill him. He hired someone else to kill him. I didn't see any psychic logs at that time. Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. So what is this interesting thing? Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jamin Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? He killed himself to ruin Matt's career? Mr. Engarde's secret? What is this secret? I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Corridor was going to reveal the secret. That means Mr. Engarde had plenty of motive to have Mr. Corridor silenced. Well, which means we have to meet with Mr. Engarde. There's no way around it now. Okay, we're gonna go talk to Matt. March 22, Gatewater Hotel hallway. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of this secret Mr. Corridor held about Mr. Engarde. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. There are two things I must know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. How would you... Don't you worry? You're gonna break into the prison? March 22, Gatewater Hotel, Viola Hall. Hey, wait! What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Like just now, I was handed a strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly I don't care, but the request came from Edgypoo, so... Edgeworth? And he said, if you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Ah, gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. This is absolutely top secret, so you had better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know. It was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip's been going on around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Kurita. I'll let you in on another secret, young'un. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious puffy-head photographer girl, the nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too. Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet it's nothing good. But I didn't say anything. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh? I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impacts, Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know. Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita? Sigh, really. You young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. What? 3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the... Why would Miss Impacts want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly cancelled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself. How terrible! I wonder what happened between those two. Okay, but... what do I... So we're just given more... rumors, but no evidence. So Andrews does actually have a motive to kill Juan. Andrews does have a motive to kill Juan. I don't know why the game gave us the gossip here. March 22, Gatewater Hotel lobby. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. It looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. I can go back to this guy's house. March 22, Engarde Mansion, living room. It looks like no one is around. What happened to that person with the stuffed titty face? Oh, she must mean that butler with the stitches in his face. Yeah, why does he have stitches in his face? Shoo! Oh, there you are. I guess you're still awake, huh, Shoo? Okay, you go play with the cat. I wonder if that butler, Mr. Doe, is already asleep or not. So we don't We don't need to be here yet. March 22, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Engarde's lawyer, right? Yes, sir. Well, we've finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? You mean for the Engarde case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center. He wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. What? I've already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. This is such a good news, Mr. Nick. Yeah, very convenient. This is such convenient news. Go talk to your heart's content? It sounded like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Alright. March 22, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. Engarde and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Engarde. Dude, it's Mr. Wright! I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Corrida was killed by an assassin and that the assassin's client is this man, Matt Engarde. What's wrong? Mr. Engarde, there is something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kinda different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. The butler of Engarde Mansion, but for some reason I get the feeling we've met before. About this person. He's your butler, Mr. Doe, right? No, don't tell him. Pearl? Pearl! Shut up! We met him at your mansion. Oh, yes, that's right. Pearl, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't tell him his alibi. He's a pretty cool dude who can do lots of things. He takes real good care of me. Pearl! Well, Pearl completely screwed that up. Matt's secret. About the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah. I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is, please? Wow, 5. I knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Psyche locks. You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? Did you know about Mr. Corrida and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Corrida. Her mentor was Mr. Corrida's manager, and Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him. Celeste? Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? Is it kind of pea, like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay? I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? Mr. Engarde, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? Yeah, he is. he is connected to the suicide. Dude, oh what? But I don't think I have to tell you anything and everything. What do you mean by that? It just means I don't have to tell you anything and everything, dude. Okay. He's not talking about that. Alright, well let's talk to someone else. Actually, is March 22 Wright & Co. law officers? It doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera asking around at all the electronic stores. Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner. It looks like Pearls really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us. Mr. Nick? Yes? Where is the lettuce? I don't have any lettuce. I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before. I guess I have to give up on making a salad then. There's no vegetables in this office. Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. Right, back to the detention center. Andrews. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about this secret Mr. Kuroda had on Mr. Engarde. I'd like to ask you about Matt Engarde if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. Engarde. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? To frame him. And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case, nothing. About Miss Celeste in Pax. I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Not really. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread just like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. The suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. Engarde? That's simple, because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? If he's the killer, why did you have to take extra steps to frame him? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they are so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews? Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge! Yeah, I thought so. Ah! Did you say something just now? A psyche lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer, to be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say, revenge. Alright, it's only one lock. How hard can it be? How hard can it be? Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Engarde for the murder? I've already told you countless times it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Engarde. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you are saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea! I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Obviously, it's Celeste, her lesbian lover. Celeste. There is only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. And that is Miss Impax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Engarde, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Mac? This relation between Celeste and Mac? Wait, what? Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Mac? I cannot explain the relationship between Celeste and Matt. Hold on, let me ask Matt about Celeste. Wait, again? March 22 Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Oh, this is new. Uh-oh. Oh god. Why is there new stuff here now? Mr. Powers! What happened? Why are you here? Oh, you see, I got roped into this somehow. Nani? And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with a detective until a little while ago, and I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you are under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh, they said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. Sorry, I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? Yes. Tomorrow's testimony. So about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet, but it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. What? You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, especially not that lawyer, he said. Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright. Ouch, I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? No, you don't. This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. Oh. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself. Nani? How horrible! That's unforgivable! Ow, sorry. Didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? Ah, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. Yeah, I noticed. I mean, celebrities and their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? It's all fake. A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh hey, so did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Impact's? This whole episode is just gossip. We heard something about her wedding was cancelled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about mysterious death. Hey Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity. You just walk around and then they give you gossip and then that's all the evidence.